Hello, you fine, beautiful people. This is Wayne the Musical Hermit here, and today I am going to be giving you what I've been listening to this week. This is pretty much going to be the first part of a weekly series I do, just going around telling you guys what I've been listening to this week. And I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this as a 5 or 10 album or single idea. Comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I figured for the first one I'd start with 5 and just see how it goes from there. So for the first thing I want to talk about is the first thing I've been listening to this week, The Who Sells Out by The Who. A great album, great conceptual album, and I think this is really where the start of The Who's conceptual nature would come in, which would lead into their next album, Tommy, which would then lead into Quadrophenia, and kind of really show the musicality of The Who. And I have to say, it is a fantastic listen. Really enjoyed it. Armenia, City in the Sky. Fantastic track. Great opener. Yeah, and many songs on this album. Like, you have just this interesting thing with like Heinz Baked Beans, Marianne with the Shaky Hand, which has a sexual reference pretty much to it. That's why it's there. Just some great things I can see for Miles. Just really good stuff. And the more and more I listen to The Who and delve deeper into their back catalog, especially like the pre-Tommy stuff, I actually really enjoy. And this was one I've just kind of listened to on repeat this week, and it's a fantastic record. The second album I want to talk about on this is, I've been listening to this band a lot, and I listened to more than just one album this week, but I figured I'd start with this one, and talking kind of keeping with the theme as like the start of the conceptual nature of The Who. This is the start of the conceptual nature of the Kinks, really, with the Green Preservation Society, where they took this kind of concept and started to kind of loosely work it into an album, which I feel on the next album would be fully realized, with it being Arthur, and then after that Lola, Percy, I know soap operas in there, just some really interesting stuff. And the thing that really caught me about this album is how short every song is. Where you get like The Who Sells Out, that also is very short, but you had a couple tracks kind of over the 4-minute mark, which is really interesting looking back. It's amazing going back and listening to these albums, how short they are, and how everything was kind of put around, kind of being poppy, and poppy in a good way. Like, this album is absolutely, like, it takes no time at all to really flow through to the part where you can listen to it again, listen to it again, listen to it again, and really not much time has elapsed, which is something I have to say, coming from more progressive rock albums where you'd get them in like the 40 to 50 minute mark, and then with later on with the invention of CD, and then getting even longer. It's kind of nice to go back to these simpler times when albums were very, very short, especially like the Kinks here. Like, this is under 40 minutes, and it just flies by. The third album I really want to talk about on this is, because we're doing the top 10 Beatles songs on the Prog Corner, listened to a lot of Beatles this week, probably more than anything else. Revolver. What an album. This is, to me, like, when people ask what's kind of the first Beatles album that really connected with me, there was parts and pieces of Rubber Soul that did, but Revolver, for me, is that one where I'm like, ooh, that's a really damn good record. The other thing I want to say about it is just like the songs. Taxman, Eleanor Rigby, I'm Only Sleeping, Love to You, Here, There, Everywhere, Yellow Submarine, She Said, Good Day Sunshine and Your Bird Can Sing, For No One, Dr. Robert, I want to tell you, got to get you into my life, and Tomorrow Never Knows. Like that track listing, and very much like everything else on this, it's very, very short. And it's one of those things that was really interesting to see, like, especially these 60s albums. Insanely short, but man, they're amazing. Like 35 minutes. Just the perfect time for this record. Could be 10 minutes more, and I wouldn't mind. The last album I'm here to talk about on this, the next one's going to be a single, but The Queen is Dead by the Smiths. This album is really interesting, I find, musically. It's an absolutely interesting album to listen to, and very much like the other albums that I'm here to talk about, it's different, it's unique, it has its own feel, its own flair. It has that very gothic vocal style of a Morrissey, but I think what really sets it apart is the music underneath it, whether it be Johnny Marr's guitar playing, going through it, whether it be Andy Rourke's bass guitar, Mike Joyce's drums. There's just something about this that really sets it apart musically. Vocally, after a while, it kind of croons a little bit too much for me at times, but it's one of those where I could probably go back, listen to it, and appreciate it more. It was really my first time ever hearing it, and it's just an album that really stuck with me throughout the week, whether it just be like the opening track, The Queen is Dead. One thing I'll say about it, like some of these longer songs, after a while you really start to feel it, but that can also be a good thing. Like it's something maybe the more and more and more I go through it, the more I learn to appreciate it. Just some great songs on here, and the fact that it's really, quite honestly, under 40 minutes helps as well. It's one of those things that's just coming from Prague, listening to stuff that's like under 40 minutes, I really have appreciation for. But it's a really good record. I highly recommend you go and listen to all these. I know I'm not going into great detail. There's a reason behind that, because probably in the future I'm going to rank like each song off these albums and kind of give you like a full ranking. And my idea behind that is that you guys will then get like my full detailed articulated, as well as that is reason why I have certain stuff there, how come I favor certain stuff. Just is what it is. And then finally, I'm here to talk about a single that got released from, quite honestly, for me, one of my favorite all-time guitar players. David Gilmour released a single this week, and the single is named The Piper's Call. And I have to say, I heard it, and it was really refreshing listening to David Gilmour. And I know a lot of people don't necessarily like Rattle That Lock, that whole album, the last one he did, very much. I actually really enjoy that record, and the reason why is there's a lot of variety on it from Gilmour that you might not necessarily figured you'd get. On an Island had a little bit of it, but to me didn't quite venture far enough away from it. But I feel like this does. It's great starting off a David Gilmour song and not hearing like intro in with like a very melodic, moody, kind of like keyboard sound with his guitar and that. It's kind of different. It kind of just says David Gilmour doing something different. And I enjoy that. I always do. Like I said, Rattle That Lock, I always love for the fact that like the title track Rattle That Lock was so upbeat, almost like as close to David Gilmour would get to probably being like a happy dance kind of number. But to me, The Piper's Call is really, really good. I would definitely want to check out his new album coming out. Like I said, one of my all-time favorite guitar players. Might listen to this a few more times, really flesh out what I think not really giving too much away because I do want to save it for when the album comes out, the album review. Uh, but anyway, yeah, that's what I've been listening to this week. Yeah, just a lot of 60s rock, little 80s, probably go in the future. I really want to know if you guys want me to go into like top like 10 albums a week and stuff and really dig deeper. I just thought for the first one I'd kind of try this out, see how it works, see what you guys think. But anyway, once again, that's my thoughts and opinions on it. Like I said, I'd love to know what you guys think. Comment down below. Comment, tell me what have you guys been listening to this week, and any recommendations for albums to listen to, put them down below. Once again, I have to say to you guys, I do this on all my channels. I really do appreciate everyone who watches these videos, and thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot. This is me here signing out. Peace.